Ann's going to tell us a little bit about OPI before we go any further.
Yeah, just a quick second. I just wanted to share some of the key points to Ohio Penal Industries and how we operate inside our correctional facilities. We do not get any tax dollars, and that includes our wages, their wages. All of the raw material that you saw is all purchased off of the revenue and profit that we make from the products that we sell. Yeah, no tax dollars in this training program, which is a big deal.
So, gentlemen, thank you for being here today. My name is Sarah. I think you've already seen these questions, so hopefully no big surprises. But I was telling the guys before I sat down, we all really love the tours, right? Totally impressed with your work ethic and how clearly you explain what you're working on, and we have a ton of questions, so I'm excited. But first of all, can you each just tell us who you are, what your name is, what kind of job you do here, anything else you want us to know?
Yep. My name is Robert Moore. I'm the lead QA, which is quality assurance in the shop.
My name is Matthew Turner. I'm a production clerk / teacher, trainer in the shop. I'm making jobs, getting them out there, wrapping them up, getting them out, and then also teaching the areas of paint room, assembly, shipping, and receiving. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's a new thing we've started, so I'd like to see where that's going.
My name is Clifford Moorfield. I'm a teaching assistant. I help train and teach other incarcerated adults how to be productive in sheet metal fabrication.
Ben Hudak, I'm in part of R&D and the training, same as him. We're both trainers to make sure everybody that comes into OPI is well trained and knows what they're doing, because that helps save money.
My name is Brandon Ward. I am a production clerk. I run the floor and make sure all the jobs that are done by Matthew Turner get done in a timely manner.
And I think it's worth telling you all one of the things that, so all of us are here because we work with manufacturers, helping them to find talent, to develop training programs. And one of the things that they're really struggling with is finding people who can teach other people how to do their jobs. So y'all have some really, really high demand skills. So you should be excited about that. So my next question for you is, we'd love to hear more about your training. I know one of you, I think it was you, has a registered apprenticeship. You've completed a registered apprenticeship program. So we'd love to just hear your journey and how you learned the work that you're doing and what kind of training you went through.
Okay, like I said, I do quality assurance. They have an apprenticeship program here that's approximately 2,500 hours that goes through a multitude of areas that you have to accomplish with learning how to look at certain products, how to actually look at the whole cycle of how you're doing, how it's being manufactured, everything. It's pretty comprehensive. It's I did it a few years ago. Let me see what else. As far as like my learning in here too, a lot of it was on the job, because like I said, initially when I got here 16 years ago, the programs weren't up and running like they are now. There's really been a big push, and that's helping a lot. So I came in, I learned to do the job from other individuals, just like I said, and from that we sprung more.
So everything I've learned in OPI, I've learned at OPI. I've only had construction, on the street. So as I came to OPI, guys seen in me, other workers have seen in me good work ethic. So they've asked me to come help them, say, in the paint room. And then eventually I took over that paint room. I've learned everything. I'm kind of OCD about my job. I want to know everything, what does what, how does it do what. My boss has always seen something in me and asked me to move up because of the job I've been doing currently. So I move up in a position I've never done before, learned it, done very well. Then they asked me to move to another position. So I got to give a lot of credit to the bosses who've just given me opportunities, who've seen in me a good work ethic, and I thank you, Holly, for that. I never did no iPhone, no Facebook, none of that, and now I know how to operate Global Shop, Word, Excel, everything like that in here. I've learned everything in here, and I feel like I'm pretty good at my job, and I'm ready for the next challenge.
All of the skills that I've learned in manufacturing, I've learned here. I learned a lot about operating and setting up machines. Prior to my incarceration, the only machine that I was able to operate was a vending machine. So I've learned a lot of skills here, and I'm thankful for that opportunity. The Ohio Penal Industries, they've transformed me from just a petty criminal into a confident and competent asset that will be productive in any kind of manufacturing industry that I could join.
Ben Hudak, I got locked up at a very young age. I'm almost 50. I was 19 when I got locked up. So one of the things I managed to do with most of my incarceration was to keep busy. And got to keep the noodle working. So I worked in a lot of different areas throughout this institution. Of the 27 years I've been here, I worked in this chapel for 3 years, and a lot of the lights you've seen was wired up by yours truly. And a lot of the guys up there are now benefiting from that. You're welcome. But I do a lot of other things inside the institution, and I used to work for automotive for Mr. Kick for about 8 years. After I graduated the program, he wanted to keep me on as a teacher because I can convey a lot of the very important things you have to know about a vehicle before you tear it apart. So Mr. Hawley known me for about 20 years, and he caught me in the hallway one day, and he says, "Hey man, wanna come work for me?" I'm like, "Oh, you're trying to snipe me. Okay, I'll come work for you." And I learned a whole new industry in 18 months, and I'm working underneath one of the smartest individuals that I've ever met, and I gotta fill his shoes, so wish me luck.
So just like Hudak here, I've been incarcerated since I was 18, 30 years old now, and I've never had any real experience working at any kind of shop or anything. So to be able to start from the very bottom, because I've done everything down in OPI, from DAing to now I'm a production clerk. So like OPI itself has really helped me become a better man and an individual to go out and be a productive member of society.
All right, so my next question for you is, like I said, we're all here to help connect you all with jobs when you're released. And so what I'd love to know is, we're new to this space, right? A lot of us haven't worked with folks who are involved in the justice system prior to this. And so we want to know, what do you want us to know? What can we be doing out there working with manufacturers, working with lawmakers to support you when you get out?
I think the most important thing that we want everyone to know that, we're individuals that maybe made a mistake in life. We're not hard. Very few people here are hard, what you call hardened criminals. Things happen in life, and when it does, this can become a consequence of it. Most people own it, and they just want a second chance. And that's why we applaud you for coming in today, because, it's starting to look like possibly we can. We might get it, because before there was always a stigma. Even look, every application, have you ever been convicted of a felony? That's one of the questions that's asked. And then you knew that when you checked that yes box, more than likely you were going to be like, what's going to be discarded, this is going to be looked at. Now this is actually feeling like, well, maybe now, people will look and see that, we're good people. We're people that just had an unfortunate circumstance most often. And as such, if given another opportunity, we'll make the most of it.
And just to build on that, I would like to know, how do I attain this information of being, more capable of being employed? And when it comes to felonies, a lot of people do get hired with felonies, but when it comes to a violent felony, it's different. It seems to be put in a different box. I've already asked some employers on the street, and they're like, well, yeah, you have a felony, but what for? It's like, it's manslaughter. Oh, but you haven't even heard what I can do or what I've done with my life since. You know, you don't even know the circumstances. Just because it says that, you don't even know the circumstances to that crime. So I would just ask, you know, to be more open-minded and not just to put me in a box as soon as you see me. Also, how can I gain more information? I keep hearing that we're doing this for y'all, we're doing that for y'all, but where do I get this information? You know, or is it more than just 2-page packet? Like I need to see more results than I have.
I think one thing that a lot of people could benefit from is opportunity. Sometimes that felony box, you know, would not give a person an opportunity. And if a person is willing to look past that, you may find guys like some of the people you've seen in the shop while touring today. Those guys, there's a lot of good guys in here that, you know, would make excellent workers if given the opportunity. I think I said during one of the tours that just because we are convicted felons does not mean we lack the knowledge or skill set to do a job. Now, that also doesn't mean just open your door and start hiring all felons, but at the same time, just not be so quick to brush those kind of people off. An opportunity, I think, can go a long way for a lot of guys coming out of here and rejoining society.
One of the things I found was when I was working in automotive, they had a test called work keys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Okay, you are familiar with. And I asked my instructor, Mr. Kick, why do they have why do they have work keys? I didn't understand why. Well, it turns out a lot of people that get diplomas coming out of high school or specific college degrees show up on the job, they don't know it. They don't. In OPI, I'm starting to see that everything that you see there, you have an idea to get a workforce that has been put through the ringer and knows their job top to bottom, and you can verify that right with all the things that we have done underneath us and the amount of scrutiny that we go into our job. And with that kind of background of a workforce that you know of what they're doing, you know the people who they work with day in, day out, under close scrutiny, you have a better idea of what you're getting than the common application. And I think that's where we have an edge.
But yeah, opportunity, like it's very hard for us for people out there to see like beyond the fact that we're all prisoners, that we've been a prisoner. So for somebody to be able to look at me like I'm a human being and I didn't make a mistake, like that's probably number one for any incarcerated individual leaving from prison to get a job.
So the next question I was going to ask, I think you all mostly answered already, but I'll ask it again in case it brings anything else up. So specifically thinking about your next boss, your future boss, what are some things that you would want those manufacturing leaders, managers to know about what you've learned here, the skills that you're bringing, anything that you didn't already mention?
I think most importantly is that we will be an asset. You know, with the skill set that I have learned, because I was a white collar worker my whole life until I came to prison, and I had never been in an industrial setting. The things I've learned and have accomplished while in the shop, you know, I think if they look at that and give me a chance to really show it and demonstrate, you know, I think that they'll realize, like I said, that almost every individual in that shop, I'm sure, would be considered an asset. You know, and as such, you know, with the opportunity like we've spoken about, I think it would really behoove any manufacturer to really give us just an opportunity to show what we really can do.
I would just like to say anybody would be lucky to have me working for them because I'm serious. I feel like I multitask so many different positions and jobs, and I'm not saying that complaining because it only makes me better. And I would tell my employer anywhere I go, I'm looking for advancement. Don't just stick me on a machine or in an area. I want to advance. I want to increase efficiency and productivity. I want this to be better. I want to save money. I want it to be easier and safer for everybody around me. So just know that if I'm getting hired by you.
One thing I would like employers to know is, like, everybody that went through and seen all the guys working in the shop, we are doing good quality work, and also we still have to deal with the prison environment. So we have a lot of turmoil, a lot of trials and tribulations that we have to overcome, and we still manage to separate ourselves from those kind of things, still show up, we work 35 hours a week, and we still produce good quality. If we can do that in here, surely we can be capable of doing those things without all of the turmoil of living inside of a prison.
That's a great point. You figure, I don't know what it's like living out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure traffic's gonna get you mad. I don't know. You try to assimilate all the different things that you see on TV, which is pretty much the closest thing I've been to it. But if I ever had an employer, if I ever did get out, I would make sure and implore and press onto him that I have been through the fire. And I have worked with people that I did not like, but we made the job happen. And that's probably the biggest thing, to overcome my personal shortfalls with other people.
So, just like Matt, I feel the same way. Like, my work speaks for itself. So, if I had to relay any information to an employer or whatever, like I wouldn't care if I started from the very bottom and worked my way up. Like I want the ability to move up, to show my work ethic and what I'm capable of for my employer.
As you think about getting released, getting back out into the public, having your first job, what are some things that you're worried about or that you hope you're going to have kind of a support system to deal with?
Although it's not so much my circumstance, I talk to a lot of guys that are on the way out, and a lot of things they talk about is, of course, housing, you know, transportation, because if you get a job, you need to be able to get there. You know, and one of the things that I wanted to really mention about here, I think our rate of actually guys being sick or not showing up is crazy. Everyone wants to work. We always come to work almost every day. So that would be important to us. So of course, shelter, transportation, decent money, because we want to be able to do things like that. So I think those would be the big ones.
Yeah, I would say just some understanding. Like, I'll be there as much as I possibly can, but I may have to go see my PO. My PO's time, I don't get to pick, so it may be during work hours. I'll be right back. I'll tell you, I could show you, you could call them, whatever. I'm starting from nothing. I have nothing and nobody. I'm getting out, I'm starting from nothing. Understand I need to get everything brand new from the bottom, So just some understanding in that. I'll be open and honest and forthcoming in anything. Just some understanding would go a long way in that.
As for support, I think things that a person would need, like employment, housing, and transportation, back and forth to work.
As far as support, I still have the blessing of having a lot of support system out there. I still have my family and my significant other. When I look about coming out, what I would ask for, what would I need, time for adjustment. I think when I first enter the job, it's going to be that adjustment period of, did you clock in? Here's where your paychecks go. I got to go to a bank? No, it's online now. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments I'm going to have to adjust to, especially when you're talking about the common guy getting out between 1 and 5 years to somebody who's been down decades. There's going to be an adjustment period. And I know they have certain things in place to make sure that happens, but just allowing for it and understanding how that process works takes a little bit of commitment on you guys. And it's basically just a hand out is a hand up, and it's appreciated. Thank you.
I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come and really look and see what we're capable of. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Guys, I think I can speak for all of us in saying we really learned a lot today. We appreciate you being open and honest with us. giving us a little bit of criticism and pushback. I think that's really welcome here. So thank you and good luck. And come find us when you're out and we'll get you introduced to some hiring managers. All right? Thank you, everybody.